In my second term, we will again stand proudly for families and for life. We will protect the historic gains we have made and stop the radical Democrat push for a federal right to unlimited abortion on demand up to the moment of birth and even after birth.
President Donald Trump's video message to marchers at the 52nd Annual March for Life, just days after taking office. The president thanked pro-life advocates for their tireless work and devotion to the movement across 5 decades and pledged to support women and children to help families thrive. President Trump's remarks came moments before Vice President J.D. Vance addressed marchers in person.
We march to protect the unborn. We march to proclaim and live out the sacred truth that every single child is a miracle and a gift from God.
Vance praised marchers for braving the cold and also promised to make it easier for couples to welcome children and feel supported in doing so.
We need a culture that celebrates life at all stages, one that recognizes and truly believes that the benchmark of national success is not our GDP number or our stock market, but whether people feel that they can raise thriving and healthy families in our country.
Just hours after the March for Life rally, President Trump signed several pro-life executive orders, among them one reinstating the Mexico City policy. This policy bans taxpayer funds from going to non-governmental foreign organizations that provide and promote abortions. Trump also signed an executive order to further enforce a ban on federal funding for abortions in the U.S., known as the Hyde Amendment. The Trump administration alleges that the Biden administration embedded federal funding of elective abortions in a wide variety of government programs. The flurry of executive orders weren't the only cause for celebration for the pro-life movement. On Thursday, January 23rd, President Trump pardoned 23 Americans imprisoned for protesting abortion. Some of those people are seen here, including Joan Bell, Jonathan Darnell, and Lauren Handy, signing the pardons in the Oval Office. The president called it an honor.
Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this.
One of those pardoned, Joan Bell, attended the March for Life and spoke with EWTN News' Mark Irons.
How are you feeling right now, both of you?
Oh, it's incredibly exciting. Very grateful to President Trump for fulfilling his word and doing it so efficiently, which government usually is. He signed the orders in the afternoon, and by 1 a.m. I picked up Joan from the jail. It's very exciting and wonderful.
How are you feeling, Joan?
Oh, wonderful. Being here, being released on the day of the March for Life, only God could arrange that. Only God could arrange that. And so we came, and it's been a glorious day, seeing old, wonderful friends, people who have been fighting for the babies for years.
The 23 pro-life activists who were pardoned were originally convicted of violating the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, more widely known as the FACE Act. The FACE Act was designed to increase penalties for people who obstruct access to abortion clinics or pregnancy resource centers. Critics say the Biden administration weaponized the FACE Act against pro-life advocates while not applying the same legal standards to pro-abortion protesters who have attacked pregnancy resource centers. Texas Representative Chip Roy has introduced a bill to repeal the FACE Act permanently. Joining me now in our studio is Natalie Dodson, a policy analyst at the Ethics and Public Policy Center, to help us better understand what all these moves mean for the pro-life movement. Natalie, it's such a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for making the time. So can we please talk about the executive orders first? There were quite a few of them that were passed. Major ones we mentioned already are enforcing the Hyde Amendment and reinstating the Mexico Policy Institute. Could you tell us more about them?
Yes, so these are really important executive actions. The first is an executive order. It recommits the Trump administration to the Hyde Amendment, which prohibits the use of federal health funds that promote abortion, so in federal programs. This is a really important action. The Biden administration sought to undermine the Hyde Amendment and other federal laws that prohibit the use of federal funds for abortion. And in this executive order, actually, President Trump revoked 2 Biden administration executive orders that sought to really implant abortion in reproductive health care. And so this is the first step of hopefully many for the Trump administration to really take a pro-life stance. And then the second is a memorandum reinstating the Mexico City policy, which the Biden administration had revoked. And so this is from President Trump's first administration. He's reinstating it, and he's really preventing non-government organizations from promoting abortion or providing abortion overseas. So these are important first steps for the Trump administration to take.
Very important indeed. Now, nearly 24 pro-lifers convicted for violating the FACE Act have been pardoned. The Trump administration claims that the FACE Act was weaponized against pro-life advocates. Can you give us your thoughts on this?
Yep, this is really important. These are pro-life individuals who truly believe that life begins at conception, that want to support and protect human dignity. The Biden administration's Department of Justice took this law and warped it to target pro-life individuals, Catholics, Christians, a Franciscan friar, elderly, mothers. And so this is really righting a wrong that happened.
Thank you, Natalie. And the president also issued a statement of support for the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, which was passed in the House, but in the Senate, Democrats blocked the measure from advancing towards a vote. Why is such a common sense bill being restricted?
Well, it's true. This is common sense. This is simply requiring a medical professional to give the same type of life-affirming care that any other born child would have. This is a born child at the same gestational age of any other child. This is a born child who had a failed abortion attempt. And so this is giving the same care that any other human person would get. It's so straightforward, and unfortunately, Democrats are so radical on abortion that they aren't even willing to see that this is a human person who's already born that deserves this care.
And Natalie, President Trump also had the United States join the Geneva Convention again. We've covered the Geneva Convention in the past, but quickly for our viewers, could you tell us what it is and why it's so important?
Yes, it's so important. This is a document that really seeks to strengthen the lives of families, the lives of the unborn, and protect women's health. There are many, many countries who are a part of it, many UN countries, and so this is reinstating President Trump's commitment to protecting life abroad and within the United States.
That's great. And President Trump shared a video address at the March for Life, and then J.D. Vance came and gave some remarks as well. What impression do you think this gives to the secular world?
Yeah, I think this is so important because Vice President J.D. Vance is the second Vice President who is very outwardly pro-life. This is important as a stepping stone for this administration to show that they are committed to the pro-life stance, to show that the American voters who voted them in, who are pro-life, that they are standing up for those pro-life actions, and that this is a principle for the American founding, for the American principles. This is protecting the human dignity of every human person.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.